At the beginning of the movie, we see the young protagonist attending the funeral of her favorite writer, Victor Hugo. Eugénie returns home and lies to her father that she was at her friend Josephine's, whom no one knows. Her brother, as a man, is allowed much more. The whole family is proud of him and expects him to make a good match. The heroine wants to go with Théophile to the debate. He expresses his consent. However, his father opposes it. In the evening, Eugénie is greatly frightened by the presence of something in the room. The heroine helps her grandmother to bed. The woman guesses that Eugénie was at Victor Hugo's funeral, but does not scold her granddaughter. Eugénie returns to her room when her candle suddenly goes out. The heroine lights the wick and hears a strange noise from one room. Looking in, Eugénie sees her brother kissing some guy. In the morning, Théophile gets into a carriage and sees Héroïne in it. Eugénie informs him that she is not going to the debate with him and asks him to drop her off at a café. The girl is going to take a little walk and read outside the gloomy house. Théophile is very worried that his father will be angry, but still agrees to help his sister. Eugénie wanders the streets and goes into her favorite café to read. The girl notices a pleasant young man reading a strange book. Ernest sits down next to her and reads one of the passages, saying that a person is made up of a body, a soul, and a bundle between them. The guy wants to give Eugénie the book as he sees her interest. In the evening, Théophile enters the girl's room. Learning that a certain Ernest gave the book to his sister, the guy begins to make cute jokes about Eugénie. The next day, Théophile talks to his future bride. Eugénie mocks her future social outing and her acquaintance with the Duchess. The father reprimands his daughter for this, saying that she is embarrassing him. The next day, Eugénie goes up to the attic with her brother to get Christmas decorations. At this time, she begins to have a strange seizure, and Théophile tries to calm her down. Eugénie tells him that she sees various ghosts who ask her to help them. The girl continues to read the Book of Spirits, which strengthens her belief that she is not the only one who sees spirits and believes in them. One day, while brushing her grandmother's hair, Eugénie suddenly begins to behave strangely. Digging through the closets, the girl finds a pendant. The grandmother cries and remembers that it was given to her by her grandfather for their engagement. However, the woman lost the pendant 40 years ago. She does not understand how Eugénie could have discovered it. Crying, the heroine says that her grandfather told her about it. Waking up in the morning, Eugénie sees her mother at her bedside. The woman behaves a little strangely and says that her father is going to take the heroine to the reception of the family with whom Théophile plans to be related. During the trip, Eugénie notices that her brother is sadly silent, and there is a strange suitcase under the bench. The girl looks out of the window and guesses that she has been taken to an asylum for the mentally ill. Eugénie begs her father and brother not to give her away, but all in vain. The man signs the document, and the girl remains outside the walls of the hospital. Geneviève examines the subdued Eugénie and sends her to her new room. The girl hears eerie sounds and sees many women who cannot control themselves. One of them even attacks Eugénie right at her bedside. However, Louise comes to the aid of the victim in time. The girl is amazed by Eugénie's exquisite outfit and her origins. Louise chats non-stop and mentions a ball to be held in the middle of the Lenten. During dinner, the girl also tells Eugénie about the other patients. Some went to the asylum because of their strange appearance and silence, some for crimes, and some for strange behavior. Louise tells that she herself entered the asylum after her sister found her on the ground in a seizure. At night, the heroine cannot sleep for a long time because of the strong noise and sounds. A new day comes. Waking up, Eugénie looks around at those with whom she now has to live. In the afternoon, Louise goes to another of Dr. Charcot's experiments. With the help of hypnosis, the man briefly controls her. Soon, however, Louise begins to have a seizure, which Geneviève watches anxiously. Dr. Charcot silently leaves, scheduling the next session for Tuesday. Geneviève comforts the girl, lying with her on the bed in the infirmary. Soon, Dr. Jules appears and asks everyone to leave. The man persistently pesters Louise, who is in love, and promises that he will propose to her at the ball. Meanwhile, Eugénie is very embarrassed to find herself in a common shower for the first time. In the afternoon, Geneviève sneaks out of school unnoticed. The woman heads to her father, Dr. Gleesus, for lunch. Together they discuss what happened to Louise, trying to diagnose her. The doctor dreams of how he and Geneviève would have worked together at the asylum. The woman returns to the asylum and sees Eugénie. The girl says that she sees Geneviève's sister and can mediate between them. However, in return, Eugénie wants to escape. Genevieve interrupts the heroine and leaves. At night, the girls in a shared bedroom speculate about what they would do when they are released. The woman who has been treated in the asylum for 25 years only chuckles, but doesn't interfere with the girls' dreams. Louise says she would take a clean, hot bath. This brings a smile and empathy to Eugénie. A new day arrives. Eugénie has an argument with the doctor, causing him to think she is hysterical. The heroine is prescribed cold baths as therapy. Eugénie cries and begs to be released, but the nurses still put her in ice water. The heroine is sympathetically looked at by the always silent Camille, who was subjected to the same ordeal. In the evening, Genevieve is walking home in a dark alley when she suddenly feels that she is being followed. Théophile catches up with her on the stairs and asks her to give Eugénie a book. Meanwhile, a frozen Eugénie is brought to the common bedroom. Louise tries to warm her up and says that with time, the body gets used to anything. All night, Eugénie lies next to her new friend, trying to regain recovery. Genevieve reads a book about spirits, with each page coming to more and more shocked by what she reads. In the morning, the woman goes to church, but the loud prayers prevent her from concentrating. Genevieve returns to the asylum and sees the patients doing work in the local laundry. The woman finds Eugénie there and tells her about the book. In return, Genevieve wants to talk to her sister, but the girl says that she would prefer not a book, but freedom. The woman agrees, promising that she will talk about Eugénie with the doctor. Soon, Christmas comes. Eugénie sees her brother, but they are both tensely silent. After the evening service at the church, Camille suddenly begins to sing. Genevieve stops the nurses and allows the girl to finish the song. The other women hug and support Camille as she returns to them. One morning, Genevieve wakes the heroine early and asks her to go with her. When Eugénie fails to contact the spirits for a long time, the woman becomes nervous and suspects that she has been deceived. Unexpectedly, the heroine establishes a connection with Genevieve's sister. The spirit says that now he does not have time for a conversation, but warns that something happened to their father in the kitchen. Genevieve runs home, but all she sees in the kitchen is the mess left over from breakfast. The woman is angry, thinking she has been tricked. However, noticing the red marks on the napkin, Genevieve climbs the stairs to the room and finds her father ill. After much questioning, the woman tells Dr. Glacis that she learned of his well-being from the sister with the help of Eugénie, who hears spirits. The man is angry, believing it to be fiction, and says that Genevieve's guilt should not be an excuse to make up stories. Glacis thinks his daughter has become insane, like her patients, and banishes the woman. A frustrated Genevieve returns to the clinic. Meanwhile, after a checkup, Eugénie sees her friend. During the seizure, Louise was injected with a special drug that stopped the seizures. However, this only ends up scaring the girl, as she cannot move. Eugénie screams that it is the doctors who are driving them crazy with their inhuman experiments. After that, the heroine is calmed down with the help of ether. Genevieve visits the head doctor and asks what is going to be done with Eugénie. Dr. Charcot considers her dangerous and therefore decides to put her in isolation under the care of Jeanne. Eugénie finds herself in a dark and gloomy isolation cell and is promised that she will emerge a different woman. Genevieve, meanwhile, takes care of Louise, whose face has been distorted by an injection during a seizure. The girl is upset when she learns that Eugénie has been taken to the isolation ward, as she is a real lady and has never behaved terribly. The girl, meanwhile, has a severe panic attack and in a hurry undresses and pulls off her corset to catch her breath. Eugénie struggles to adjust to life in her new surroundings. In time, the girl pounces even on unpalatable food and rejoices in those rare moments when she sees the sun. Genevieve spends a long time in reflection. One day, a woman lets light into Eugénie's punishment cell and promises that she will help her get out. Soon, the heroine is visited by Jeanne herself. Eugénie communicates with Jeanne's mother and learns that she killed her grandson, after which she went to the asylum. Jeanne begins to cry, but then strangles the girl, calling her a scoundrel and a witch. Having come to her senses, the woman walks down the corridor and encounters one of the patients, who assures her that she has fleas in her mattress. Jeanne grudgingly waves her off and leaves, not noticing that her keys have been stolen, which then fall to Genevieve. The woman is delighted to hear the head of the isolation ward running around all day looking for her missing item. Soon, Genevieve sneaks into the isolation ward. Eugénie talks to the lady's sister and says that the sister is not angry with Genevieve, but loves and protects her, wishing only good. The woman sincerely thanks the girl for her help. Geneviève gives Jeanne the keys and makes sure that Eugénie is again transferred to the general ward. Dr. Charcot warns the woman that she will have to answer for this patient with her head. Eugénie embraces Louise and learns that she is now unable to walk. Soon, the day of the ball arrives. With Genevieve's help, Théophile sneaks in. The guy dances with Eugénie and then with the help of a woman goes with her to one of the wards. The heroine is disguised and prepared to be rescued from the asylum. Meanwhile, Jules secludes himself with Louise and does terrible things with her against her will. Jeanne notices that the heroine is trying to escape. Geneviève manages to save Eugénie at the cost of her freedom. The woman becomes a patient of the asylum and sometimes receives grateful letters from the heroine. Now Eugénie uses her gift to help and comfort people. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like, write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.